people come into our appointments and they ask me, so what's better, a trust or a will? And I always like to tell people, well, it really just depends on what you're hoping to accomplish by preparing a trust or a will. The trusts and wills are very similar in a lot of different ways. For example, in a will, you're going to nominate a personal representative. In a trust, you're going to nominate a trustee. Both kind of do the same thing when you pass away. They're both in charge of paying your final expenses and distributing your assets for you. So they both kind of do the same thing. Also, a will and a trust, likewise, both both describe how you want to distribute your assets. For example, you want your house to go to this person, or you want your car to go to this person. So they both do the same thing. The difference between the two is that if you have a properly funded trust, there wouldn't be any need for a probate proceeding to be opened in order to distribute the assets that are owned by the trust. That is different from a will. In a will, you've said that you want so-and-so to have your house, but a will is just simply your wishes for what you want to see happen. So the question would become, well, do I care if my family or the loved ones I leave behind have to go through the probate process or not? Many people don't care. They're not going to be around. That part of it doesn't bother them, and so for them they choose a will because that process isn't as important to them. There's others who adamantly, they do not want their family to have to deal with a probate or court proceeding. So they really want a trust. So it really becomes, what's your preference? There are other reasons to have a trust prepared. One reason is estate tax. So there's an estate tax exemption of $10 million. So many people don't have an estate over $10 million. So the estate tax issue isn't really an issue for them when deciding which way to go, whether they do a trust or a will. So it really comes down to what your preferences are in terms of how easy you want to make it for your family. The trusts that we prepare are called revocable living trusts. Those are the only type of trusts that we prepare. There are many other trusts out there, and you would choose those trusts just depending on what your specific intention is for the trust. For example, if you are married and your spouse has a child from another relationship, and you want to ensure that some assets go to that child from another relationship, there's a trust called a Q-tip trust. We do not prepare those. I would suggest that you consult an estate planning attorney for those types of trusts. Likewise, if you want to leave your estate to a charity, there's a trust called a charitable remainder trust. There's irrevocable trusts. Those types of trusts really do require an attorney. There's specific language that needs to go into those trusts, and so we don't prepare those. So the trusts that we do prepare are the revocable living trusts, and those are primarily for those people who are just looking to have their family avoid probate. If you don't want to go that route and you just want a last will and testament, we prepare those too. We'll make sure that who you want to receive your assets are listed inside the will, and through a probate proceeding, those persons will receive those assets. So give us a call. We'll be happy to discuss all your options for you and let you know what each instrument does and doesn't do, and then you'll get to choose. You get to pick. We'll never tell you what you should do or shouldn't do. So give us a call and we'll get started today.